All right, guys, today I'm going to walk you through the Core Phonics survey. And if you don't know what this is, just remember, go back and watch my long introduction. But this is what you're going to give to your little one if they're struggling to learn to read. They've been exposed to literacy instruction and they are still not getting it. So we need to know what exactly they're not getting. In this video, I'm going to walk you through what the Core Phonics survey is, how to give it to your child, but if you'd like to just skip to the next video, I am going to give it to your child for you because I am a teacher. I've been doing this for a long time and I want to make this easy for you. So if you want to do this together, you can skip this and go to the next slide or go to the next video. But if you want the longer explanation, I'm going to do it here for those of you who would like to know. So I have uploaded this for free. It is a free assessment anybody can get. Now my purple is what I've kind of annotated on here to help you make sense of it. So this is just the intro page on what the Core Phonics Screener is, why we need it, but it's just going to tell us exactly what knowledge of sound and letter correspondence, which is phonics, our kids have and we don't have. On the next page, you're going to see how to administer this test, which again, I'm going to go over with you. And it says when. So they say parts A and B, we're going to do in kinder, C and D, right? It gives you like different measures and different times. But what I think is beautiful about teaching your child how to read is you can just go at their pace. So I'm going to start at A. If they've got it, I'm going to go to B. If they've got it, I'm going to go to C. If they've got it, I'm going to go to D. And I'm going to keep going till I find where they don't have it. And then I'm going to stop. I'm not going to keep going because it can kind of be a little bit daunting for kids to try to do something that they're not ready for, right? But you're just going to go until you find that point where they're struggling, and then we're going to stop, and that's exactly where we start teaching them. This is going to tell you what it means to pass each section, but again, I'm going to break this down for you, but it is here if you want to read and go over it yourself. And this page here is going to be where you can print it out and record exactly where your kids scored and everything, but I just typically get out a piece of notebook paper and I only write down the things that they've missed in each section. So I write what they've missed and then I draw a line and then I go to the next section, and just having a piece of paper is easier for me and I don't have to print anything. This is going to be the recording sheet. So if you would like to print it out and do it along with your child, you're going to print out these next few pages. And then when you get to down here, it's what your child is going to see. So again, I've flipped this into the next one where I'm going to give it with them. But if you want to give this to your child yourself, you only really need to print these pages, page 9 through 12, because this is what your child's going to see. Now I'm going to back up to what you're going to see. But again, I do this on a piece of paper and a pencil because I don't print this for every single one of my students. But if you'd like to print it, it can be a really easy way to follow along. Then instead of writing what they missed, you can just circle it. But we're going to start here at letter names. Okay, so the first section is just the letter names. It tells you exactly what to say to the student. Can you tell me the names of these letters? And remember, if they don't know some, you want to pump them up. This is the time they can show you what you know. You want to be shocked when they know a letter, like, oh my gosh, good job. And if they don't, you'd be like, that's okay. Now we know what we need to learn. Now we know what we're going to teach together. So it's really important. This is a positive experience for your little one. This is not a test. Don't use the word test, or use the word test and explain that tests are a great way to show what you know, not that they're these punitive things when you don't know something. Those mistakes are opportunities to learn. So here they are just going to tell you the names of the letters. Now you don't actually need to know the names of the letter to learn how to read, but they can be a great indicator of a child's working memory, of their early literacy exposure. And there is a lot of great research showing the correlation between knowing your letters and being able to read. That most often kids who know their letters are ready to read. So here you're just going to ask if they know the names of the letters. And again, here you're just going to ask if they know the names of the letters. So it's uppercase and it's lowercase. Now, if they don't know the names of the letters, if you want to stop right here, you totally can. And you can just go ahead and start at the beginning of rules for reading. But if you'd like to move on, even if they don't know them all, you're going to move to the consonant sounds. So you're going to show them these and you're going to say, can you tell me the sounds of these letters? So now they're going to go in with the letter sounds, okay? They have to know all of them. 21 out of 21 to pass this section. If they don't know all 21, I want you to stop right here. And now you know exactly where you need to start on single letter sounds in the rules for reading. And I break down every single one of these letters, all of their sounds, and how you're going to teach them to your kid. If they know all of their consonant sounds, you're going to move on to vowels. So here what's a little tricky is they are listing 2 sounds of the vowels. Now there's actually a lot more than 2 sounds of most vowels, but they want to know if they know the most common 2. So I would show them the letter E and I would say, do you know the sound of this letter? Now if they say eh, that is the short sound. So I'm going to write a little S for short, or I'm just going to, give it a little check. But you also want to ask them, do you know another sound that E can represent or E can spell? Because they can also say a long sound, and you're looking for them to say its name. So if they say E because long vowels say their name, then they've got both. Now, if they only know the short sound and they're a beginning reader, it's totally normal. But by the end of first grade, they should, if they're getting structured literacy in school, have been exposed to short and long sounds and know each of them. So this would be I, a, o, u. Okay. So if they don't know all their long vowel sounds, and they're a very beginning reader, it's okay. You can move on. If they're in first grade or higher, they need to know all 5 out of 5 to pass this. And you want to stop here and go ahead and go back to single letter sounds because we want to get all of these good skills for them. If they know all their short vowel sounds, we're going to go ahead and move on. Okay. The next section is going to be consonant, vowel, consonant words. That means we just see a consonant, a vowel, and then a consonant. So they say they're short sounds, right? But what's great and I love about this test is it not only gives us real words, but it also gives us what they're calling pseudo words or nonsense words. And these kind of words really show you what kids haven't just memorized words. They show you if they can actually know the letters and use their sounds to decode a word. So this would be like nop, sut. Now, if they're going op, nop, that's okay, but they do need to say the word together. Sut, sut. If your kid's looking at you like you're crazy when you show them these, you might want to explain that they are nonsense words. But if they're getting it, that is a great sign. Now, if they have 14 or 15, you're going to move on. If they got 13 or less here, you're going to stop right here and head to single letter sounds. Consonant blends is going to be the same thing. If they've got 14 or 15, you can move on. 13 or less, you're going to go to the specific lesson on blends in underneath single letter sounds. I'm going to tell you the same thing over and over again, but with the digraphs, 14 or 15, move on. 13 or less, you're going to go to the section right on digraphs. They don't need the single letter sounds anymore because they've already passed those tests. So you don't want to teach them lessons they already know. Then we're going to head to R controlled vowels. If they got 14 out of 15, you can move on. If they got 13 or less, we're going to go to R controlled vowels. And we can stop here. You don't have to keep testing them. If you want to if they're doing great and you want to see the whole test, maybe they're getting like 12 on each section, it can be helpful to just see all of the picture right up front. But I just tend to go ahead and stop when I see where they're struggling because I can teach them that skill and then come back to this assessment and give it as many times as I need to. Long vowel spellings, if they have 14 or 15, you can move on. If they have 13 or less, you can go to the vowel consonant E section. And there's also an entire section on multi-letter vowels that also spell long vowel sounds. So things like OA saying oat, so here all the vowels should say their name. T, I, aid. Then we have our variant vowels. If they have 14 or 15, move on. If they have 13 or less, you're going to go to vowel diphthongs. Variant vowels, vowel diphthongs are the same thing. Kids don't need to know all these big words. It's just what we call them when we are organizing words. Then we have our low frequency spellings. So things like silent letters like wrist, like nod, nod. If they have 14 and 15, you can move on. 13 or less, you're going to go to more advanced patterns. Then you're going to give them one final test if they have mastered all of this, all of the previous ones. If they have 21 or more correct, your issue is not with word recognition. Your kid can do it. They can decode words. Our issue is going to be in language comprehension. So you need to get more support there and continue to work with them on their vocabulary and exposing them to lots of things. But if they have 20 or less, you're going to go back and you're going to review. Now, I do have multi-syllabic word lists built in. Multi-syllabic just means more than one syllable into rules for reading that you can use, but you can also just review the skills. Again, they're going to tell you what the skills are exactly and find the lessons that match. So this is the assessment I use to help me understand exactly what lessons my kids need, and all of the lessons they're going to need based on this assessment are in rules for reading. So we've got this together.